Chosen one, you were never meant to stumble across this message by chance. You didn't click this because of curiosity. You found this because something far beyond your understanding arranged for it. Heaven has been moving, aligning, weaving together stars and silence just to get your attention. And now you're here. Reading this, breathing a little deeper, feeling something stir in the quietest part of your soul. Not everyone will understand what's being said here. Not everyone is meant to, because this is not for everyone. This is for the one who's been waiting, not just for a person, not just for a connection, but for the recognition, for the moment when your soul finally whispers, "Yes, this is what I've been waiting for." You see, divine love doesn't arrive with fanfare or flashing signs. It doesn't barge in with chaos. It enters like a breath you didn't know you were holding. It feels like remembering, not discovering. And when it comes, it's not about needing. It's about knowing there's someone, yes, someone who has been carved for you in the unseen, not a fantasy, not a fairy tale, but a living, breathing soul whose journey was woven beside yours, long before either of you had names. They've been walking through storms you don't know about. They've cried over wounds that mirror your own. And just like you, they've been praying. Not knowing who they were praying for, but feeling the ache of someone missing from their life. And the reason you're here now, the reason your spirit feels like it's leaning closer, is because the space between you two is finally collapsing. But don't mistake this for a rescue. This is not a love sent to fix you or to complete you or to rescue you from your loneliness. No, this is the kind of love that arrives because you are ready, because you've walked through the fire, because you've sat in silence with yourself, because you've chosen to heal instead of hide, because you've stood back up after every heartbreak and said, there has to be more than this. And there is. There always was. But heaven waits until your hands are open enough to receive without clinging, until your heart is soft enough to welcome without doubting, until your spirit is strong enough to recognize the sacred when it arrives. Wrapped in skin and breath, this love, it's not about noise, it's about presence. It doesn't scream, "Look at me." It whispers, "I see you." And chosen one, you have been seen by God, by the stars, by the soul that was meant to find you. So many times you've wondered if you were too much, too intense, too emotional, too quiet, too deep. But the truth is, you were never too much. You were just waiting for someone who could meet you there. Someone who wouldn't be afraid of your silence, who wouldn't flinch at your fire, who wouldn't try to dim your brilliance just to make themselves feel bigger. Heaven didn't forget about you. Heaven was preparing them just as it was preparing you. And now, this is the moment when everything begins to shift. You're not watching this by accident. You're here because something sacred is unfolding, a soft unveiling of what's always been written, the kind of love that doesn't exhaust you, the kind that expands you, the kind that feels like finally coming home to something you never had the words for, but always knew existed, not because they will fill a hole inside you, but because they will walk beside you in full awareness of the divine flame you carry. They won't try to dim it. They'll guard it. They'll fan it. They'll rise with it. This is a love that begins not with desperation, but with readiness. You've evolved. You've become. You've outgrown what once looked like love, but felt like settling. So heaven is delivering you the one who matches. The version of you that is no longer shrinking, no longer performing, no longer begging to be chosen. This time, it's different, because this time, you're not just being loved, you're being understood, and that changes everything. But let me say this clearly, this love won't come to you wrapped in perfection. It will come wrapped in truth. Truth that humbles you, truth that steadies you, truth that says you don't have to earn this, you are this. You may not know how to recognize them with your eyes, but your soul will know. It will know in the stillness. It will know in the calm. It will know when your heart no longer races with anxiety, but settles with clarity. Because divine love doesn't Confuse, it confirms, it calms, it aligns. And when they look at you, you will see no confusion in their eyes. You will see the echo of your own prayers. You will feel the answer you've been searching for. You will realize you weren't imagining it. You were remembering it. Did you ever feel like your soul was waiting for a moment it couldn't describe, but would know when it arrived? This is that moment, not a coincidence, not a performance, but alignment. If something in you whispered, "This speaks to me," then speak back. Comment, "I see it now," below. Let this be your confirmation. Subscribe if you're done shrinking and ready to walk boldly in what's always been yours. This message isn't here to entertain you. It's here to awaken you. And if you've read this far, you already know. You didn't find this, it found you. That's the nature of sacred love. It's not new, it's ancient. It's a reunion, not a beginning. It's a return, not a rescue. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it in the way their voice softens when they speak your name, in the way their presence doesn't demand anything, but offers everything, in the way your walls don't rise up around them, but melt down without fear. Chosen. 1. Your time in the wilderness wasn't wasted. Your tears weren't meaningless. Your seasons of silence weren't a punishment. They were preparation. And now the air is different. Your spirit feels it. Something is coming, or perhaps it's already here, gently stepping into your life, asking no questions, making no noise, just being. So before we move deeper, before I take you further into what heaven is revealing, pause. Feel this moment. Let it reach you. Because what follows in this journey will not be ordinary. It will not be light, but it will be true. Stay with this message. Don't just listen. Remember, don't. Just watch, receive, and if even a part of your heart is whispering, "This is for me," then it is. You are not watching this. You are being called. Chosen one. What if I told you you're not the only one who's been feeling this ache, that while you've been walking through your silent deserts, someone else has been whispering prayers into the same sky with a name they didn't yet know, but a presence they've felt all along. Yes, someone out there has been carrying the mirror of your longing. Someone who has wept at night, not knowing why. Someone who has looked out the window and felt a void, a sacred emptiness that only your soul could fill. And now the ground beneath you both begins to shift, because heaven does not write love stories in isolation. It crafts them in alignment, in timing, in sacred preparation. You were never meant to be the only one seeking. You were never meant to be the only one hoping. You were never meant to carry this yearning alone. Their spirit has been calling to yours, even before either of you knew how to listen. Do you remember those moments when you felt a presence you couldn't explain, a warmth that came from nowhere? The dreams where someone's face appeared without features, but felt more real than reality. That wasn't fiction. It was divine frequency trying to reach you, because the kind of love you're waiting for, the one your soul was promised, has a weight to it, a gravity, and when it begins to approach, your entire being starts to vibrate with anticipation. That's not anxiety, that's remembrance. You've been trained by this world to dismiss these feelings, to label them as desperation, to hide them, to numb them, to call it foolish to want something that deep. But heaven never called you foolish. Heaven called you ready. There is a sacred design in how your hearts were molded, both shaped by flame, both carved by disappointment, both made tender by isolation, not to break you, but to make you soft enough to feel when the truth arrives. And here's the truth. The one sent for you has known your presence in ways words could never explain, not with logic, but with memory. The kind of memory that lives in the bones, the kind that hums through bloodstreams when alignment is near. They have dreamed of you, not your face perhaps, but your essence. The way you make a room feel different, the way your silence carries depth, the way your joy feels like morning sunlight after Months of rain, and when you meet, you won't need to search for confirmation. Your soul will say, "There you are. I knew you'd come." But hear me when I say this. They are not arriving as your savior. They are arriving as your partner, equal in flame, equal in purpose, equal in divine timing. This is not the kind of love that tries to fix you. This is the kind that sits beside you in your wholeness and says, "I see all of you, and I choose all of you." They won't run from your scars. They'll understand them because they have their own. Not wounds that will clash with yours, but ones that complement, like puzzle pieces of healing forged in separate fires. You'll see it in their eyes, that they too have known lonely nights, that they too have questioned their worth, that they too have begged heaven for someone who understands depth, not as danger, but as divinity, and they will recognize it in you. Because, chosen one, you were never meant to be understood by everyone. Your frequency is not common, your path is not typical, so your companion could not be ordinary. They were hidden, refined, tempered, delayed, not as a punishment, but as a protection. Because had you met them too early, you would have both seen each other through the lens of pain, not clarity. But now is different. Now your heart has eyes. Now your soul has voice. Now your being knows how to say yes to what is true, without shrinking, without second-guessing, without fear. You've grown out of performing, you've grown out of pretending. You no longer want a love that requires you to act like less. You want one that sees more, and that's exactly what is coming. They won't be afraid of your complexity. They won't need you to simplify your story for their comfort. They will want to hear every chapter, even the messy ones, even the ones you swore you'd never speak aloud again. Because they're not here to judge your past. They're here to help you build what comes next. And let me say this, there will be no striving, no games, no wondering where you stand. There will be a peace so undeniable, you will feel your nervous system recalibrate just by being near them. That's the power of divine alignment. It doesn't demand. It doesn't confuse, it simply stands beside you and says, "Let's walk this together." Chosen one, they are not perfect, but they are present. And in a world full of distraction and distance, presence is the rarest kind of magic. This person is coming with substance. Not just feelings, but foundation. Not just attraction, but assignment. Because this is not a romance. This is a mission, a sacred co-creation. You two are not just meant to love. You are meant to build, to impact, to carry light into spaces that have known only shadow. And when people see you together, they will feel it. Not envy, not confusion, but hope. The kind of hope that whispers, maybe real love still exists, because that's what your union will model. Not perfection, but persistence. Not fantasy, but faith in motion. So stay open, even if you're tired, even if the waiting has wearied your soul, even if doubt still knocks at your door. Stay open, because what's coming won't require you to fight for clarity. It will be clear, and you will feel it, like a steady flame that refuses to flicker. And when it comes, don't push it away. Don't question if you're worthy. Don't retreat into old stories that no longer belong to you. Instead, breathe, receive. Stand still and let it hold you, because they've been praying too. Chosen one, you've wondered, time and time again, if the love you longed for was simply too big to exist in this world, too deep, too sacred, too much. You've looked into the faces of those who claimed to care for you, and you saw confusion where you craved clarity. You felt yourself shrinking, softening your voice, dimming your light so they would stay. But deep down, your soul was screaming, "This isn't it. This isn't what I was made for." And you were right, because you were never created for imitation love. You were never designed for halfway affection. You were never meant to beg for what heaven intended to give freely. You were just asking the wrong ones. You see, the heart inside you was always tuned to a higher frequency. You were built for something real, unshakable, sacred. But that kind of love, it cannot be rushed, it cannot be demanded. It must be revealed in divine timing when both souls are fully awake. And now, after all the nights you questioned yourself, after all the days you pretended you didn't need it, after all the seasons where you convinced yourself you were better off alone, you're starting to feel it again, aren't you? That silent pull, that invisible tide, that sacred knowing that something is drawing near, not chaos, not intensity masquerading as connection, but peace, stillness, a love that doesn't shake your foundation, but becomes one with it. Chosen one, you were not made to chase. You were made to receive, to open, to allow. And the one who is meant for you, they will not make you guess. They will not give you silence when you ask for safety. They will not disappear when your soul needs presence. They will come with steady hands, with a heart that isn't afraid of how brightly yours burns, with a presence that doesn't compete with your power, but rises in harmony with it. They will not try to dim your fire. They will warm themselves by it. They will not ask you to shrink. They will create space for all that you are, because this is not about fixing each other. This is about freeing each other. Let me remind you, real love does not require performance. You do not need to earn what is already yours. You do not need to shrink your laughter, swallow your tears, or hide your spiritual brilliance just to be kept. The one coming for you, they won't be looking for the easy version of you. They'll want the whole version. The one that still believes, the one that still feels, the one that still chooses love, even after every heartbreak tried to convince you otherwise. Because they've been through it too. They know what it's like to offer everything to the wrong hands, to love fully and be met with emptiness, to be told they were too intense, too emotional, too much, and they've grown through it. Just like you. That's why you'll recognize each other without explanation, without needing a list of reasons. It will simply be clear. Your souls will exhale. Your heart will stop bracing for rejection. Your spirit will recognize its echo. Because this isn't a new beginning. This is a long-awaited return. Chosen one, don't let bitterness rob you of this moment. Don't let the ones who couldn't stay define your worth. They were never meant to hold what you carried. They were part of the becoming, not part of the promise. And now that the promise is approaching, don't shut the door. Don't let old patterns speak louder than your new wisdom. Don't run from softness just because it once broke your heart. This time, it's different. Because you are different. You've learned how to stand, how to protect your peace, how to hold yourself through the silence. You've become someone who no longer settles for attention that lacks depth, who no longer stays where you're tolerated instead of celebrated, who no longer trades truth for temporary comfort. And because of that, this love, this soul, this divine union can finally find you. Not the broken you, not the doubting you, the whole you. You are no longer asking for too much. You are simply no longer asking those who were never meant to give it. And now heaven is sending you someone who can, someone who will, someone who's already preparing space for you in their world. They may not know your name yet, or maybe they've already spoken it in dreams. It doesn't matter. What matters is this. The vibration between you is getting louder. The alignment is realigning, the veil is thinning, and when you meet them, it won't be with fireworks or grand declarations. It will be in the softness of a glance, in the way time feels like it pauses, in the way your spirit suddenly quiets. Because real love doesn't arrive like a storm, it arrives like a sunrise, sure, gentle, unstoppable. You won't have to ask if they're the one. Your soul will already know, your body will relax. Your heart will lean in, your intuition will whisper, it's safe now. And here's the part many don't say. This love will not be easy, but it will be worth it. It will require presence, patience, humility. It will call you higher, not by force, but by invitation. It will ask you to speak when silence feels safer, It will ask you to stay when leaving seems easier. It will ask you to believe again, to trust again, to open again. But it won't ask you to do it alone. They will do the same. They will meet you there. And when you rise, you will rise together. Not in fantasy, not in escape, but in truth, in alignment, in purpose. Because this love isn't here to complete you. It's here to amplify you. And in their presence, you will feel yourself becoming more of who you are, not less. You will feel your truth returning. You will feel your softness waking up. You will feel your power rising with grace, because they were not sent to put you in a box. They were sent to walk with you into the expanse. So if you've been waiting, don't lose hope now. If you've been hurting, don't close your heart now. If you've been shrinking, don't disappear now, because heaven never forgot about you, and neither did they. The time of silent preparation is ending. The time of sacred arrival is near, and when it comes, when they come, you'll know, you'll remember. You'll say to yourself, this is what I was waiting for. This is who I was becoming for. So breathe, let it in, let them in, because the story is just beginning. Chosen one, I know how many times you've stood in the hallway of almost seen, almost loved, almost chosen, almost enough. Each time your heart stretching farther than it should have, giving pieces of itself to hands never meant to carry such sacred weight. And when it all fell apart, again, you told yourself maybe this love. You feel this depth you carry, this fire that burns within you, maybe it's too much. Maybe it's not meant to be met, but heaven was never silent in those moments. Heaven wasn't punishing you, it was preparing you, because you were not being overlooked, you were being fortified. There is a kind of strength that only silence can build, a kind of wisdom that only loneliness can teach, a kind of softness that only heartbreak can reveal. And you, chosen one, were never abandoned. You were being carved. Not into something smaller, but into something eternal. Because the love that's coming, the one heaven designed with your name already written into its center, requires a version of you that knows how to stand tall in your truth. A version of you that no longer bends for approval. A version of you that no longer begs to be seen. The waiting wasn't a delay. It was a divine cocoon, and now you are emerging. But listen closely, this arrival, this sacred love, isn't a reward for suffering. It's a response to your becoming. You grew into the kind of person who no longer fears their own light. And that light is what drew them to you. Not just your smile, not your voice, not the way you hold others through their pain, but the way you rose, quietly, over and over, without applause, without recognition, without guarantees. You chose to keep loving in a world that didn't know how to hold it. You chose to stay open, even when closing yourself off felt safer. You chose to believe, even when your belief was mocked, even when your softness was mistaken for weakness. And now the atmosphere around you is changing. Can you feel it? It's subtle. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. The air feels different. The silence no longer feels empty. Your own reflection looks braver than before, because you've stepped into readiness. You are not reaching out from a wound anymore. You are radiating from a healed place. And that shift has called in the one who was always meant to find you. They have been walking their own path of preparation. They've lost, they've questioned, they've cried for what they didn't yet understand, but deep inside, they've been waiting for you, without knowing they were waiting at all. Because this connection was never about finding, it was about becoming. Chosen one, when this soul enters your life, you won't need them to fill a void. You'll want them to walk with you through the fullness. They will not treat your love as a task to manage. They will see it as a temple to protect. They will not run from your truth. They will honor it even when it scares them, even when it stretches them. Because this love is not surface deep. It's not made of convenience. It's not driven by loneliness. It's rooted in divine design. There will be a recognition, a silence between you that feels like 1,000 conversations, a presence that asks for nothing but invites everything. You won't feel the need to explain why you are the way you are. You won't have to translate your soul into palatable language. They will understand your pauses, respect your boundaries, and marvel at your chaos, not as something to fix, but as something beautiful and alive. And when they hold you, because they will, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the absence of fear, the absence of doubt, the sacred security of someone who isn't just showing up for your best days, but also your worst. And on those days, when old memories rise, when the ache returns without warning, when the world feels too loud, they will not retreat. They will stay. They will breathe beside you. They will hold space without trying to fill it. And in their stillness, you will remember what safety feels like. Chosen one, this love is not fragile. It is not intimidated by depth. It does not fracture under pressure. Because it was forged through fire, and fire knows how to endure. You are not stepping into another trial. You are stepping into a promise kept, one that was whispered over your life before you ever arrived here, one that was delayed only by your transformation. So don't apologize for how long it took. Don't regret the detours. Don't curse the waiting. Everything was necessary. Every tear had purpose. Every silence was a seed, and now it blooms, not suddenly, not all at once, but with grace, with rhythm, with sacred pacing. Let it unfold. Let it arrive slowly. Let it teach you how to receive without guilt, how to trust without proof, how to love without losing yourself. Because this person, this soul, will not ask you to abandon your identity. They will remind you of it. You won't lose yourself in them. You'll find more of yourself beside them. They will challenge you, yes, but not from pride, from purpose. They will speak truth when it's hard. They will hold mirrors to your strength, not your shortcomings. And you'll do the same, because this is not love built on dependency. It is built on devotion, devotion to the mission, to the growth, to the daily choice of rising together. You were not meant to carry everything alone. You were not meant to climb every hill in isolation. And now, the one who was formed in parallel to your becoming is finally drawing near. Let your walls remember they are no longer needed. Let your heart remember how to stay soft. Let your soul remember that it was never asking for too much, just waiting for what was truly aligned. They are not your rescue. They are your reflection, and as you lock eyes for the first time, in a moment that might feel ordinary to others but holy to you, you will understand. Everything was leading here, not just the joy, not just the hope, but the heartbreak, the silence, the ache. All of it conspired to prepare you, and now you are no longer hidden. You are no longer waiting. You are seen. You are found. You are chosen. Not because you begged, not because you proved anything, but because you became. This love was always yours, and now, finally, you are ready to receive it. Chosen one, you will not need a sign. You will not need confirmation written in the clouds, because when they walk into your life, the entire atmosphere will shift. Not with lightning, not with noise, but with stillness. A kind of stillness that doesn't silence you, but steadies you, that doesn't quiet your heart, but calms it. There will be no hesitation in your body, no racing thoughts asking if it's safe to feel this, no fear whispering, what if they leave? Because when something is sent, it carries the weight of its origin. And this person, this love, was sent. You'll feel it the moment they speak your name, as if they've always known how to say it. Not just with their mouth, but with their soul. There will be a knowing that settles between you, one that cannot be faked, cannot be forced, and cannot be explained to those who have never felt it. Because this love isn't logical, it's spiritual. It's the kind of love that rearranges your interior world. It softens places you thought would always stay hard. It holds space for your fire without trying to tame it. It touches every wound and says, you're not broken. You're beloved. They will not flinch at your truth. They will stand in it with you. And when your voice shakes, they will not interrupt. They will listen, because they won't be listening to fix. They'll be listening to understand. This is how you'll know. You won't feel the need to hide. You won't try to filter your feelings into something more acceptable. You won't look for the right version of yourself to present, because they'll only be looking for the real you. And you'll feel that safety in every glance, in every silence, in every small gesture that carries the weight of presence. You won't question your worth. You'll feel it reflected back to you in how they show up. You'll feel it in how they stay, especially when it would be easier to leave, because love like this doesn't run when it gets hard. It roots deeper. It steadies itself. It leans in. You'll begin to understand that all the no's behind you were not rejections, they were redirections. You weren't being denied, you were being preserved, held in grace until someone worthy of you arrived. And now they're coming, not to impress you, not to possess you, but to walk with you. This is not about romance. This is about remembrance. Because when you meet them, it will feel less like falling and more like landing. Your nervous system will recognize them before your mind catches up. Your soul will whisper, "We've done this before," and you have. In the spaces between lives, in the echoes between worlds, your souls made a promise. Not a promise of ease, but of presence. Not of perfection, but of persistence. To find each other again when the time was right. When the healing had taken root. When the hearts were strong enough to hold something sacred. And now that moment is near. It's arriving, not with urgency, but with sacred timing. So when it comes, let it come. You don't need to question whether you're ready. Your soul already said yes. All that's left now is to allow, to receive, to welcome, to believe again. Yes, chosen one, believe again, even after all the wrong ones, even after all the broken pieces, even after all the nights you told yourself it was safer not to hope. Hope anyway, because this love will not arrive to disappoint you. It will arrive to rebuild you, not because you're incomplete, but because some parts of you have been waiting to awaken in the presence of something this real. Some versions of yourself only rise when met with love that is true. Not loud but constant, not dramatic but devoted. This is that love. It will not demand fireworks. It will not perform for applause. It will bloom in the quiet. It will deepen in the everyday. It will teach you how holy a simple touch can be. This person, they are not here to save you. They are here to remind you you never needed saving, that you were never too much, that your depth is not a burden, that your truth is not inconvenient. And when they say, "I see you," you'll believe them. Because they will. You won't be seen through projection. You'll be seen through presence, through patience, through proximity. Not just when you're smiling, but when your voice trembles, when your boundaries hold, when your silence speaks louder than words. They'll see the quiet parts of you, the holy parts, the soft places, and they'll protect them as if they were sacred altars. Because they are. You are. And this love, it's not casual. It is consecrated, and it will not end when life gets heavy. It will begin there. Because, chosen one, this love was written into your destiny, not for comfort, but for calling. Together you will not just find refuge, you will become refuge. Your union will carry light, not just for yourselves, but for others. People will look at you and remember what is possible, that real love is not extinct, that divinely orchestrated timing still exists, that heaven still moves. You and this soul, you will co-create. You will heal through each other. You will rise not only for yourselves, but for the collective, because what you build together will be bigger than both of you, so don't be afraid of how much it matters. Don't shrink just because it feels surreal. Let it feel holy. Let it feel big. Let it feel exactly how it was, always meant to, because that's what it is. It's not a coincidence. It's a covenant. It's not just timing. It's testimony. It's not just chemistry. It's calling. And when it finds you, You won't feel small anymore. You'll feel expansive, alive, certain, safe. Because when heaven sends someone just for you, they don't come to take from you. They come to walk with you, not behind, not ahead, but beside. And finally, you'll no longer wonder if you were asking for too much. You'll realize you were always asking for what was meant. Chosen one, there is a moment just before something sacred arrives, a moment where everything within you becomes still, not empty, not silent, just still, as though the entire universe is holding its breath, waiting for you to notice what is finally approaching. And now it is here, not as a thunderclap, not as a firestorm, but as a holy unfolding, one breath at a time, one gaze at a time, one wordless recognition at a time. This love was not born yesterday. It did not emerge suddenly from the chaos. It was written, woven, threaded into the very architecture of your destiny, long before you ever whispered your first prayer. You weren't the only one asking for something real. So, were they? You weren't the only one walking through the dark, believing in a light no one else could see. So were they. And now, two prayers that once drifted alone in the night sky have become a single flame, one that cannot be separated because it was never truly apart. They will not arrive to rescue you. They will arrive to walk beside you, to remind you that everything you carried, everything you healed, everything you endured was never wasted, because every piece of your becoming prepared a place inside you where this love could live. Chosen one, you were never alone. Heaven was walking with you through every unanswered question, through every door that closed too early, through every person who left before you could even ask them to stay. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned, and now that positioning is complete. The right one doesn't show up when you're desperate. They appear when you're ready, not ready on paper, not ready in appearances, but ready in the quiet language of your soul, that still, calm yes that rises in your chest when something true finally arrives. When they step into your life, they will not need a presentation. You won't have to earn their gaze. You won't need to perform for their affection, because this love does not need convincing. It needs receiving. They will see you in your softness and call it strength. They will meet you in your silence and call it sacred. They will touch your scars and not ask how you got them, but ask how they can hold them better. This is not a transaction. This is not a performance. This is a covenant, the kind that whispers, even if you fall, I will kneel beside you until you remember how to rise. And when you do, they will rise with you, because they didn't come to be impressed by your light. They came to amplify it. And when your voice shakes with doubt, when your vision blurs with fear, they won't try to silence your truth. They'll sit in it with you until peace returns. They won't fear your power. They won't compete with it. They'll honor it, because they've spent their own journey unlearning fear and remembering who they are too. This is what makes it divine. It's not perfect, but it is aligned. You won't find them through striving. You'll find them through surrender. You won't attract them with desperation. You'll attract them through presence, because this kind of love recognizes itself. When you laugh, they'll remember a sound their soul had missed. When you cry, they won't flinch. They'll stay, they'll listen, they'll hold. And on the ordinary days, the ones filled with dishes and quiet glances, long walks and quiet prayers, you'll feel it even more, because that's where the divine lives, not just in the fireworks, but in the flame that never dies. Chosen one, you've reached the point where love is no longer a fantasy. It is a frequency. It's not something you chase, it's something you become. And now that you've become it, it has found you. You may ask, why now? Because now you're no longer asking for love to heal you. You're inviting it to walk with you. You're not looking for someone to carry your pain. You've learned how to carry it with grace. And now, someone worthy of that grace is stepping into your light. You've softened, not as weakness, But as strength, you've stayed open, not for anyone, but for the right one. You've protected your sacredness, not to keep the world out, but to make space for the one soul who could meet you there. And now they are here. They may not arrive with a halo. They may not say all the perfect words, but your soul will recognize them. You'll feel it in the stillness. You'll feel it in the way your heartbeat slows. You'll feel it in how your inner child sighs, as if to say, finally, we're home. There will be no doubt, not because it's perfect, but because it's true. You will not question where you stand. You will not beg to be chosen. You will be chosen, and you will know it in every gesture, every glance, every breath. This love will not press you into someone you're not. It will open the doors you had long shut, not to invade, but to invite. And what you build together, it will not just be a relationship. It will be a refuge, a lighthouse, a place where your light can re-stand, your shadows can be loved. You will dream together, create together, heal together. And in doing so, you will teach others what's possible when two hearts choose each other with sacred intention. This love will not demand applause. It will not post signs. It will simply be steady, devoted, sacred, and that will be enough. So, chosen one, when it arrives, don't flinch. When it sees you, don't hide. When it holds you, don't apologize for needing it, because this is not the world's version of love. This is heaven's, and heaven does not send what you're not ready to carry. You are ready, you are worthy, you are chosen. This love was not delayed, it was timed, not lost, just hidden, not forgotten, just protected. And now you are being invited to receive it fully, freely, forever. Let this be the season you no longer ask, is it coming? But finally say, it's here, because it is.